Yo, welcome everybody back to the channel. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of the most awesome novels I've ever read, and that is C.J. Box, Force of Nature. This is book number 12 in C.J. Box's Joe Pickett mystery series. Let's look at the cover first. You know, I love cover design, graphic design, cover illustration. Again, this has got a great cover of the Wyoming countryside. We've got a falcon flying through the purple haze of the clouds. Falcons are very important to this book. We'll get into that in a little minute. We'll get into that in a bit. We'll get into that in a little bit. I don't even know if that's a phrase. Whatever. This book is dope. That's all we need to know about. Dope books. I got the entire Joe Pickett mystery series right up there on my top shelf. As you can see, all the spines look great together. So we got to give credit where credit's due to the publisher for making sure that our book collection looks super fly on the shelf with these great covers and great spines. A+ on that. Let's talk about hey man, this is the best book about using fly fishing to pick up girls that I've ever read. Although it's not really working for me. I mean, I haven't been able to really pick up any girls with fly fishing, but I don't know if it's the fly fishing that's the problem or if it's me. I think it's me, not the fly fishing. But anyway, this is the best book about that subject that I have ever read, bar none. And that's how we start out the book. This book is about Joe Pickett, our game warden. I love Joe Pickett, the game warden, and his family. Oh my gosh. One of the reasons I love these books so much is we get to know his family, his friends, and his colleagues so well through the previous 11 books. And now his family is getting older. You know, when we first started in book 1, Sheridan, his little daughter, was just a little girl messing in the woodpile with flesh-eating rodents. And now she's going to college in Laramie or wherever the University of Wyoming is. I don't even know what college she's going to, but she's in college. And then Joe Pickett's other foster daughter, April, sort of this goth troubled kid, is just being sort of a goth troubled kid. And then his youngest daughter, Lucy, who's I think maybe a freshman in high school at this point, she's trying to grow. And then his wife, and then their best friend, Nate Romanowski, who is a expert falconry guy. You know, the guys that put the gloves on and the falcons land. He raises falcons for a living. Central to the plot. Actually, Nate Romanowski and the falcons have been a side plot throughout all previous 11 books, and now it comes to a climax in book 12. At the end of book 11, which was called Cold Wind, or something like that, I think. Let me look. Cold Wind. The end of the book of Cold Wind, Nate Romanowski, the tough guy, Joe Pickett, the game warden, has his friend Nate Romanowski, and Nate Romanowski is the tough guy. He's like the kick-ass character in the book. Like, nobody messes with him. He's like the Jack Reacher of these books. And he's an ex-army guy. And he loves falconry, and he kicks everyone's ass, and he sort of protects Joe and Joe's family, because Joe and Joe's family get into a lot of murder mystery adventures in the previous 11 books, and Nate Romanowski's bailed them out a lot of times. Now this book is about Nate Romanowski's backstory. This is why I loved it so much. Now we go from game warden in Wyoming murder mysteries to almost an international thriller, which involves Joe Pickett, our game warden, and his buddy Nate Romanowski, the tough guy, falconry expert, and his backstory. Now, in Cold Wind, book 11, the previous book to this, it ends with the final words that the 5 are coming to hunt Nate Romanowski. So then when we get to the beginning of this, Nate Romanowski, we know people are hunting him from his He's done something in the military in his past, much like Jack Reacher, if you've read the Lee Child Jack Reacher books. And that past is now, coming to make its collection on Nate. Now, I won't get into that. It involves falconry. It involves 9/11. It involves Osama bin Laden. It involves wheelings and dealings in the Middle East between our government and people in the Middle East that shouldn't have been going on, and bad people in the government. That's what it involves. And it's all coming to land on top of our little game warden, Joe Pickett, in the small town of Saddle Springs, Wyoming. And it's just like every word of every side plot in this book matters. Every character just suddenly you can't trust. Even, there's a character named Luke that shows up in this book, and he's a new game warden trainee. And I loved that character. I will admit, I knew the story arc of that character as soon as he showed up on scene. Because as a writer myself, I was like, man, I would use this character exactly like this, bop it up. And that's the way C.J. Box used the character, almost exactly the way I had sort of plotted it out, which is fine because it's just a dynamic character. And I was like, okay, so me and C.J. Box are on the same page. I understand what he's doing here. And I was just like, that's cool. Okay, I guessed correctly in 1 out of 12 books now, because he has surprised me. And anyway, this is still full of surprises. Super duper dope, absolutely gut-wrenching surprises that I haven't even hinted at yet. But if you want to know everything that you've ever wanted to know about falconry and ducks and birds of prey, look no further than this book here, Force of Nature by C.J. Box. It's just every time I start to read and delve into the plot of a new Joe Pickett mystery, I'm thinking, there's no way C.J. Box is ever going to top it. How can he top the last one? And then he does. And then I'm like, how can he top that one? And then he does. And now 12 books in, I couldn't think he could top book 1, but yet he keeps doing it. And he does it effortlessly. I feel like these books are being written by the Michael Jordan of mystery writers. That if you followed my channel, this is my favorite new author. I just can't get over how good every one of these books is. They're just written effortlessly, and I don't know if that's really explaining what I mean, but as a writer myself, I know how hard it is to write things and have it seem effortless. It's almost the hardest thing to do. And this guy's doing it effortlessly. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 stars.